Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Coffee, where in today's episode, we just got some new casting news about The Mandalorian, where Bo-Katan is being brought to live action. That's today here on Star Wars Coffee. Earlier today, there was a tweet sent out by Peter Sciretta, who wrote this article for /film titled "The Mandalorian Season 2 Recruits Katie Sackhoff to play Bo-Katan in live action." And he teased the scoop earlier today, so I was hoping it would drop before my regular video time is released at 2:30. And thank goodness it has. And it is some pretty cool news. The Mandalorian is getting more characters bringing to live action, and this character has been in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, so it's nice to see that the overlap between different mediums versus animated shows and live action shows are continuing. So let's take a look at this article written by Peter Sciretta, who teased this earlier today and has now dropped this new information and casting news. Battlestar Galactica star and Star Wars veteran Katie Sackhoff is joining The Mandalorian Season 2. We have exclusively learned that Sackhoff will be playing a live-action version of Bo-Katan, and a Mandalorian warrior previously voiced in Dave Filoni's animated series Star Wars: The Clone Wars and later Star Wars Rebels. Although both Lucasfilm and Sackhoff's rep declined to comment, we have confirmed the story with multiple sources. She filmed her role back in February before Hollywood production shut down due to the global pandemic. Pausing for a second, this is true. I talked about this in my video yesterday, that the Mandalorian Season 2 is not going to be put on hold or anything, since principal photography and all of the shooting was done by early March, and now they're in post-production, so it shouldn't be a delay with The Mandalorian. Continuing on. Sackhoff has made a career of playing complex sci-fi tough women, recently appearing in Netflix sci-fi drama series Another Life. The Mandalorian Season 2 completed principal photography in March, and the past production is being done remotely. Well, I guess I didn't have to pause to say that, because here it is. So the new episodes will still hit Disney Plus in October 2020. Bo-Katan first appeared in Season 4 of the Star Wars animated series Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The character was a Mandalorian warrior, a lieutenant in the radical splinter group Death Watch, second in command to the group's leader. When Maul took possession of the Darksaber, executed Vizsla, and took the throne of Mandalore, Bo-Katan refused to accept the outsider as her new leader. She was instrumental in recruiting the Jedi and the Republic to lay siege to Mandalore and oust Maul. Later, in a Star Wars Rebels episode, Sabine chose to pass the infamous weapon to Bo-Katan, believing that she could unite the Mandalorian clans. If you don't remember the animated series, it all boils down to this. Bo-Katan was an instrumental Mandalorian leader who once wielded the Darksaber, a weapon that we've seen in Season 1 by Moff Gideon, a weapon that the villainous Moff Gideon now controls, as seen in the first season finale of The Mandalorian. Now, why is Bo-Katan important in The Mandalorian? Obviously, it's because of this Darksaber connection. So how did Bo-Katan lose the Darksaber? How did Moff Gideon get possession of it? Those stories have yet to be told. We don't know much about the Purge of Mandalore and the Night of 1,000 Tears, but you can easily see why fans have been speculating that this character could appear in The Mandalorian. There was a lot of Mandalorian history missing from the current Star Wars canon, and maybe Bo-Katan's live-action appearance would serve to fill in those gaps. Discussing Film even asked Sackhoff about the possibility earlier this year, to which she responded, "I mean, who wouldn't? There are people that are going to jump to conclusions that Bo is going to be in The Mandalorian because on paper, it does make sense. But we'll just have to wait and see. Cross all your fingers and your toes, you never know." So, as we've discussed in my, which I bring in every now and then whenever we're talking about an actor making a comment about Star Wars or about episodes or characters that they may or may not be playing, a no means no, and anything else means yes, to make it simple. She didn't say no, she said who wouldn't. Obviously, she's going to do it, she wants to do it, so since she didn't come out and say, "No, I haven't been approached," it's going to be a yes. Moving on. We only know that Bo-Katan appears in this upcoming season. We don't know how she appears. It's possible that the involvement could be contained in flashbacks. Since Moff Gideon has the Darksaber, that means he would have taken it from her in a battle at some point. Bo-Katan may have died in that battle, and we could see that play out on screen in a flashback of Season 2. The Filoni legacy, whereas Dave Filoni tries to tie up loose ends from previous shows and bringing them to different mediums. bringing back characters to finish their journeys in new adventures. We saw this with Ahsoka and Rex in Rebels, and we have already confirmed that The Mandalorian Season 2 will have its first live-action appearance from Ahsoka. This was the last Mandalorian scoop that Peter Sciretta and Slash Film broke, and I believe they were the first ones to post on Rosario Dawson too, so Peter Sciretta getting this Mandalorian stuff very early, possibly to help a spin-off series to tease the end of Rebels, which I've been talking about, and we'll have an upcoming video on that in a couple days. Last week, it was reported that Temuera Morrison would be playing Boba Fett in the upcoming season, but that also opens the door to him playing live-action Rex, as they are both clones of Jango Fett. While Peter Sciretta hasn't heard anything concrete, he wouldn't be surprised to see a live-action version of Sabine appear in the series, considering her Mandalorian background, her relationship to the Darksaber, and the fact that she teams up with Ahsoka in the quest to find Ezra, which is speculated to be the driving force of an Ahsoka live-action series. That is only something I've heard about one time, so we will have to wait on that one. But I do feel pretty confident in telling you Temuera Morrison's back as Boba Fett and Rex, and that Rosario Dawson is Ahsoka. However, with an Ahsoka live-action series on her own, that's only speculative at this point. I've only made a couple of videos on that. The creatives at the center of all this have long-standing ties. Series showrunner Jon Favreau was a fan of Battlestar Galactica, notably taking inspiration from the space combat in the sci-fi television series when making Iron Man. Favreau also voiced the Clone Wars character who led Death Watch and commanded Bo-Katan. That series was created by Dave Filoni, who also serves as a writer, director, and executive producer on The Mandalorian. So, really well done by Peter Sciretta over here. Tip my cap to you, sir. This was excellent article. Katie Sackhoff happens to look a ton like this character, so this is going to be a great live screen adaptation. Let me know what you guys think about this news in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you and the Force be with you. If you enjoyed this episode, and frankly, even if you didn't, don't forget to subscribe.
Do it!
And if you want to help spread the word, please give this video a thumbs up and tell your friends to subscribe. Please check out the official Star Wars Coffee merchandise, and don't forget to check out all of the content playlists on this channel, including The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and much more.